Of all my favorite artisanal hobbies, I think art is my absolute favorite. So today we are going to work on some really fun art projects. Oh, we have a visitor. Hey, hon. What's
Hi,
up?
I made you something.
You did?
I did.
What'd you make for me?
Well, to celebrate this being your 100th episode, I figured you deserved a little wooden plaque.
What? Oh my gosh. That is so cute. That is so sweet. He's right though. This is my 100th video and I would have totally forgot about that. That's so sweet.
You're
honey.
welcome.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Well, y'all, welcome to my 100th YouTube episode. That's so cute. Oh my gosh, that was just so sweet of Michael to do that. What a thoughtful thing to do. It's just so sweet. I feel like I now have my own personal Grammy Award. Honestly though, y'all, I would not be here if it weren't for you. I would not have 100 episodes on YouTube right now if it were not for all of you and all the love, the support, and the encouragement that you have shown me over these last couple of years. So we are going to spend today celebrating. I want to celebrate you, and we're gonna just celebrate together. We're gonna celebrate 100 episodes. So thank you all again so much. I just cannot convey enough what each and every one of you mean to me, and all your love, all your support. It really does mean everything to me. So welcome back to my channel, y'all. We're gonna have a good time today. We're going to celebrate by just having some fun playing with paint. So I know a lot of times when I say the word art, some of you just get scared and you want to just run away, but don't do that, because I'm just going to tell you that all creativity is art. No matter what it is that we're working on together, all creativity is art. There's just so many different forms. So today we're going to play with paint. We're going to play with paint. We're going to play with brushes. We're going to have fun. And in honor of all of you, in celebrating 100 episodes together, I have so much fun stuff to give to y'all today. I have created a whole bunch of art pieces for y'all, some coloring pages, just all kinds of really fun things to give away today, because I want to honor you and celebrate you as well and show you how much I appreciate you all supporting me through this YouTube journey. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm just gonna sit this here. I don't know if y'all can see the bottom of that, but it says congratulations 100th episode. That was just such a sweet, thoughtful thing. He's such a thoughtful guy. All right, y'all. So for our very first project today, we are going to create, I'm going to show y'all how I created this really fun gallery wall right here. We are going to have fun with this one. This is one that you can just relax, play, create your own style, have fun, splashing paint all around. And the main thing I want to focus on with this project is a lot of you have been asking me if I will show you how to do color mixing, color blending, or not color blending, but color mixing to create your own personal color palette. So that's going to be the main focus of this project, but we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So without further ado, let's go play with some paint. I love a good challenge. So I thought it would be a lot of fun to see if we could recreate these really fun color palettes that I have created. I created all of these digitally. So my challenge here is going to be to see if I can actually recreate each and every one of these color palettes with just mixing and blending our craft acrylic paints. This little bundle will be available for y'all as a free download, and I will have the link for these in the description box. So we're just going to need some fun little, I've just got some 8x8 watercolor paper or canvas paper that I cut down. And sometimes I do find color wheels to be very helpful when you're doing this. So I will also have this linked in the description box for y'all if you are interested in this color wheel. It can be very helpful. Sometimes I do find them to be a little confusing, and sometimes I find them to be very helpful. So I think that's just personal preference here.
I do use my color wheel occasionally. I don't really rely on it a whole lot. And then, of course, we're going to need some water. We're going to need our paint cups. We're going to need some fun brushes of any size that you choose. Because we're just going to have fun with this. We literally are just playing here, and we're just going to throw some paint on our canvas. So to get started, I'm going to challenge myself to see if I can first recreate this color palette. I titled all of these with just fun titles, and so we're going to create this one that's the calming one. And I am going to just be using my craft paints to do this. And a lot of times you can find craft paints that are already in the palette. Like if you see a color that you love on a project somewhere or just on an inspiration piece somewhere, a lot of times you can find that color. And I do find that the best place to get these acrylic paints is at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I think they have an amazing selection of these. I am going to try to recreate all of these little swatches, these color swatches that are on this particular color palette here. And for the very first one, it is just a very soft seafoam green. And so I have one in my chalk paint that's very similar. And all I did to get this color was just add some white to tone it down. White will be your very best friend when you're color mixing, white and black. So make sure that you have lots of that on hand, as well as raw umber and burnt umber. Those are the main colors that I use in color mixing to get different tones and a variation in my tones. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to write down what I used to blend each and every one of these colors for y'all. I'm writing them on the back of my color palette here, but I will have those available for you because obviously we can't recreate every single one of these together live, or this video would be 4 hours long. So I'm only going to do a couple of these with y'all, but I will have all of the colors that I mixed together available for y'all as part of the art bundle. One thing to keep in mind is ratios are just a tricky thing. I just play with ratios. So I didn't, I'm not going to measure these down to the exact ratio for y'all. Just play with them. I mean, you can kind of see that to create this next green, I start out with a base green color. I added in a little bit of navy blue and I just keep working it. And so you start with your base color and then add in your blending colors or your mixing colors a little bit out of it at a time until you get the exact color tone that you are looking for. And again, you want to make sure that you have plenty of white, black, raw umber, and burnt umber in your arsenal for mixing. Something else to keep in mind when you are mixing colors is to make sure that you get everything very well blended together. That will really make a difference in the tone of your color. So here I'm just going to continue mixing colors and blending colors until we get this whole palette built, and then we can have some fun splashing some paint on canvas. At this point, I'm actually feeling somewhat proud of myself for accomplishing this. It's not always easy to mix colors. I make it look easy here, but sometimes it's not always easy. It really is trial and error, and you really do have to just play. You have to be patient and give yourself lots of grace, give yourself lots of leeway for mixing colors because you're not going to get it right on the very first try. There was a lot of these that I didn't get right on the first try, but then I just start over and, keep playing. It's just one big giant experiment. Okay, so now we're going to play with the color palette that we've created, and I want to make this fun gallery wall that I showed y'all at the very beginning. And so to do this, I'm just going to start splashing paint. I'm literally just going to throw paint onto my little canvas paper here. And I'm just using some flat brushes to do this. I'm just using a variety of sizes of brushes so I can get, different widths and whatnot to my paint strokes here. And so I just make some vertical lines, some horizontal lines, some just splashes, some just smudges, just whatever. Just have fun with this. You don't have to have any kind of artistic talent to throw paint down on a piece of paper like this. So I say have fun, get creative, and let your creativity flow through the brushes while you are doing this part. Okay, y'all, well, we have successfully created our very first color palette challenge, and I think we did a pretty good job here. I think we got very, very close. Something to keep in mind when you are working on this is your printed palette sample is going to be substantially lighter than your painted palette, because when you're using the paints, they're going to have a lot more saturation in them. The opacity is much darker. So just keep that in mind, that it is going to be a little bit darker. And the idea here is to just have fun with this, have fun creating colors. No pressure, no stress. This is just a project that is fun and only fun. That's really what I want this to be for y'all. It's just a project that you can have fun with. Okay, so Michael actually cut out these fun little words for me. The names of each of our palettes, he cut them out on our X-Tool cutter, laser cutting machine, and I just love them. I thought it would be a fun accent to add to our color palettes. I'm going to frame all of these, and so I thought it would be fun to have a little accent piece. And so here I'm just kind of trying to decide what color I actually want to paint my lettering, and in the end I decided to paint it that sagey, soft green that I think that was like number 2 in the color palette, maybe number 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint that, and then we will move on to challenging ourselves to paint our next palette. Alrighty, so I've gone ahead and mixed up our Moody color palette, and y'all, I am actually loving this one. This might be my favorite color palette of them all. It was probably the easiest one for me to mix, mostly because I already had a lot of these colors, these base colors in my arsenal. So this one was pretty easy to mix up. And again, don't forget, I will have all of the mixology to these paint palettes available for y'all as part of the free art bundle. So now we're just going to go ahead and have some fun splashing these paints onto our canvas. I'm just going to throw some paint down, have fun, create different shapes, create different size lines, get scratchy with your paint, just have fun. I mean, really, honestly, y'all, this is supposed to just be a super fun project, and I don't want y'all to put a lot of pressure on yourself to get everything perfect. This is just a fun project. just decided it might be kind of fun to play with my stippling brush a little bit. And so I just pulled that out, dabbed some of the paint color on it, and then I dabbed some of it off sort of like that to get that dry brush effect. And I thought it added a lot to this. It was kind of fun. It just gave it some depth and some dimension. So one thing I want to let y'all know, if you are just not comfortable trying this, or it's just not your thing, you don't want to do it, but you like the end result, I will have all of these available for you as a printable as well. Just my color swatches here. I will have those available. They will be part of your free art bundle. Okay, so we've got the Moody done. This one, I think I got spot on. I really do feel like this one is super close to our sample palette, and I really like it. This one is fun. I love this color palette. It really does describe the color palette that I am loving this year. And I've really gravitated towards this color palette, and I've been using it in a lot of places throughout my home. Okay, so now let's just work on the next one. We're going to work on this one that's the Serene color palette. I also really love this one. This one, there was just something about this color palette that just gave me those happy, calm vibes. Very similar to the first one that we created. The very last color palette that we're going to play with together is the Sassy palette. And y'all, this is a super fun palette. I actually think it would be fun to incorporate these into a room. I just think this is so much fun. They're just super playful colors. I will tell you though that these ones were the hardest for me to blend up. I really struggled with this one. And so in full disclosure and full transparency, I had to redo a lot of these multiple times to get the color tones just right. So if you do decide to recreate this color palette for yourself, just remember to give yourself lots of grace and be patient with yourself, because it does take some time to get these color tones exact. But I think we nailed it in the end. After all that hard work, it was definitely worth it, because I do love that color palette. All right, so let's start assembling these now. All I'm going to do is just stick this is double-sided tape. I just buy these double-sided tape wheels in the crafty section at Walmart, actually, and I think I've seen them at Michael's and Hobby Lobbies too. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick these to some fun background colors, and this is just some cardstock that I found. It came in a bundle that I got at Hobby Lobby, and I will try to have it linked in the description box for y'all if I can. So I'm just going to center this as close to center as I possibly can. I really am just eyeballing this. And then we will glue our lettering onto this. And I'm just going to use some super glue to do the lettering. Then we'll pop it in our frame, and we will have a fun, completed gallery wall with just lots of fun color palettes. I really love this project. In the end, I think it turned out fabulous, and I'm really going to enjoy this so much in the studio. Y'all will have to let me know which of these color palettes, which of the 6 color palettes is your favorite. I had a really hard time choosing because honestly, I love them all. I think the Moody is my #1 favorite, but I really like this Sassy as well. It's just so much fun.
Out of all the artistic mediums that are out there, watercolor and acrylic are probably my most favorite. They're the ones that I'm the most comfortable with and I tend to gravitate towards. So I'm really excited for this next project. We're gonna play with some watercolor paints. However, we're not going to be actually using watercolor specific paint. I'm going to show y'all how you can take acrylic paints, just our normal everyday craft acrylic paints, and turn them into watercolors. So let's get started with project number 2.
For this watercolor piece today, we're just going to need some drawings. I've pre-drawn these for y'all, so they'll be part of the art bundle if you want to just kind of use them as a fun coloring page and a page that you can just play with and experiment with. We're only going to be using 5 colors for this particular piece. I really kind of wanted this piece to be somewhat of a monochromatic piece. So I've just chosen 5 colors in a palette that I like. You're going to need some water and you're going to need your brushes, and of course you're going to need your drawing. So to mix these up, we're just simply going to add paint to our paint dishes, and then you add water to it. Now if you want your paint to be super dense, don't add as much water, but if you want it to be a little bit more on the transparent side, add more water. The mixing is really important. We'll get to that in a second. One thing to keep in mind is when you are using your acrylic craft paints as a watercolor medium, it is naturally just going to be more opaque than an actual watercolor. Watercolors, true watercolors, are a very transparent medium, and you build and build and build the layers to get to that dark, opaque colors. But with using your craft paints, it's just naturally going to be more opaque, so you don't have to build as much and you don't have to layer as much. All right, y'all, so when you mix these, you want to make sure that you do get them mixed very, very, very thoroughly. You want to get all that pigment completely dissolved into your water. And I do recommend using a small brush to do this. I think you get the best results with your blending. All right, so now we are ready to start, and you can barely see the drawing on here. I drew it in pencil, so it is very light, but it is there. And if you print this, it'll be a lot darker, so you'll be able to see your lines a little better. The first thing I'm going to do is just kind of wet. I'm going to start with 1 petal on our flower, and I'm going to do what is called a wet on wet technique. And I'm just adding some water, just pure water down, so that when I put the paint down, it's going to just give it this beautiful flow, and it's going to blend really well. And so I'm literally just going to color in the lines as we do this. So it's just like coloring a color book page, only we're going to be using paint and a brush rather than crayons. I find this process so relaxing. It's so therapeutic. I find when I am watercoloring, it is so easy for me to just completely decompress. So I really enjoy this entire process, especially on the heels of a stressful week. Sometimes I will just spend my weekend playing. And y'all, honestly, you don't have to be some super artist to dabble and play with art like this. I say if you want to give this a try, go for it. If you've never done it before, give it a try. Step outside your comfort zone. Challenge yourself to do something different and something new. That's my favorite thing about being a crafter, is that we don't have to limit ourselves to the type of craft that we do. We can have fun. We can be creative because we're very creative people. So just enjoy lots of creative outlets. And for me, watercolor is a fun creative outlet, but it's one of those places where I don't have to have any pressure or stress. I just play and have fun. And if it turns out, great. If it doesn't, that's great too. Y'all, if you only knew how many pieces of watercolor things that I've tried that I've just tossed in the trash because they were just garbage. But then some of them, I look at them and go, well, it's not very good, but it was fun for me to create and I enjoyed the entire process. So that's what it's all about. It's just about having fun, challenging yourselves to try new things. So we're just going to go ahead and continue painting this entire piece. And I do use a couple of different brushes when I'm working on this, like for the stems that I'm working on here. I'm using a really teeny tiny brush because I kind of wanted my stems to have a very delicate feel to them. So I'm just using a tiny brush, and I will have all of the brushes that I used for this particular project listed in the description box for y'all if you are interested. So once I get my initial base colors down onto the piece, that's when I come in and start doing some fun shading and some fun layering. This is not a scary step. You're just literally layering some extra paint, and you can deepen your shades, add a variety of shading to this to just give your piece some depth and some dimension. So here I've got all the base colors laid down, and now we're ready to start adding in our layers so that we can watch this piece just kind of come to life. So I'm actually just going to stop rambling on, and I'm just going to let you guys watch this process happen, and you can kind of get a feel and see for what I am doing here. So I will stop rambling now and let y'all just watch and enjoy. Point, I think our painting is looking really good, and you can actually call it finished at that point if you wanted to, but I'm just going to go ahead and take it to a little bit of a next level by adding in a little more shading. And one thing to keep in mind is I do like to dry my layers. If you keep adding a bunch of layers to your wet paint, you will end up with just a big blob. So I do take my heat tool and dry a lot of my layers. And so here, all I'm going to do to just add a little bit more to this is just put some line shading in here. So I'm just using my teeny tiny little fine brush and adding in a whole bunch of lines, and it's just basically going to give this piece a little bit more depth and dimension to it. Remember, keep in mind that if you don't want to paint this, if painting is just not your thing, I will have the finished piece available for y'all as a free printable, and I will also have the drawing available for you if you do want to go ahead and give this a try. All right, well, I think it's finished. It turned out pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but it was fun for me. It was relaxing. It was enjoyable, and I do kind of like the end results.
That I have recently discovered is digital art, and y'all, I am slightly addictive. It's a place where I can literally just get lost. Everything around me fades away, and I can just get so lost in playing with digital art. I find it very therapeutic, very relaxing. For me, art just in general is very therapeutic. It's my way of decompressing and just resetting. I do find it to be very therapeutic. So I do highly recommend trying some form of painting, or whether it's digital or watercolor or acrylic, and you're using paints and brushes and canvas, or you're using your phone or a tablet. It's therapeutic. I do highly suggest that you at least give it a try, especially if you're having one of those moments where you just feel stressed and you feel like you need to decompress. Give art a try. You don't have to have any kind of talent to create art. I promise y'all, I'm not the most greatest artist out there, but I definitely enjoy it, and I use it as my way to express myself or decompress and relax. So this next project, we're going to play around with some digital art, and I'm going to show y'all how I create some digital art pieces. So I use my phone. I do use my tablet sometimes too, but it just depends on the kind of program that you like. So I use Pinup, and I like the Pinup on my phone far better than the one on my tablet, because my tablet's kind of old. So I like the updated version that I have on my phone. So I am going to show y'all how we can create some really fun floral pieces using Pinup on our phones. Okay, y'all will have to bear with me a little bit because I did record this
on my phone. I just did a screen recording from my phone, so it's not very big. Hopefully you can see everything that I am doing. So the first thing that I did was open up my little pinup program and then imported my drawing, which is really, really easy to do. And if y'all are interested and you want to know more about this program, I would be happy to do a full tutorial on pinup, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to keep things semi-short, and I'm just sort of going to go through the process here pretty quickly. So after I import my drawing, I choose my brush sizes, and then I can come into the palette and pick my colors, and then you literally just start coloring. And I was using a stylus when I did this, so if you have a stylus, I do recommend using one. If you don't, your finger works great. It really does work great, and it's kind of fun. So I literally just start coloring in all of my lines. I did recreate this. I did create a second layer here, which you can create layers so that when you're all done coloring in, you can take that very first layer, the sketch drawing, away, and you get a little bit cooler result, which I will kind of show y'all that in just a little bit. But here I'm literally just coloring in the lines. It's kind of like, so you can see how I took the lines away just so I could see what I had. And so I'm just going to keep coloring. I don't know why I find this so fun, but this is one of those things where I can literally just get super lost. I can forget about time. I can forget about just everything around me when I am playing with digital art. For me, it's fascinating just watching it happen. And I really like how when you're creating digital art too, I really like how the brush strokes are so soft and so delicate. And y'all, I'm just really just playing here. I am no professional at this. I literally opened this up for the very first time I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I just sort of happened on it and discovered it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And I felt like a little girl here. You know, I was just playing and I just kept coloring picture after picture after picture. And I will have all of these drawings available for y'all in the art bundle. So if you want to just sit and play and kind of discover what this little digital art world is all about, I recommend it because it really is fun, and it just kind of takes you back to that childlike feeling, which I think we should all embrace no matter how old we are. I do like that you can change your brush sizes and your pencil sizes. I mean, if the sky is really the limit here. They think of everything in the digital world. Technology, y'all. Sometimes it just fascinates me so much, and then there's times when I just get highly frustrated with it. But this particular technology was just super fun, and there was nothing frustrating about it at all. I literally was having the time of my life playing with all of this. So here I've finished coloring in all my base colors. My first initial layer is down, and now I'm just kind of coming in with some different colors and just doing a little bit of shading, a little bit of line shading, just adding a little bit of, you know, some depth and some dimension and some visual interest to this coloring page. I know we've all colored, so we know what it's like to just come in and do the fun shading and stuff. So that's all I'm doing here. And then you can see here how you can change the opacity of your brush sizes. You can change the size of the brush. You can change the texture of the brush. So here I'm just kind of using a splattery brush that kind of gives these cool little dots in the center of our flowers, which I just thought was so cool. It was so easy because I literally just tapped my stylus to the screen and voila, I had all these cool little dots, and it was just fun. It was so fascinating to me watching all of this happen. So I'm going to go ahead and just continue doing a little bit of coloring here, and we'll just play and see what emerges from from our digital crayons. I think one of the things that fascinated me so much about this is that you don't have to mix colors for one thing. So to get some depth to my flower petals here, all I had to do was click on the little eyedropper and it copied that color, and then I could just make it a slight bit darker. So I just went like one shade darker with that color, and it created some fun shading so that I could put some definition between the petals and do a little line shading here. So I just found this whole thing so fascinating, and honestly, it's a lot easier than working with real paint, especially the color mixing, because the computer just does it, or the program just does it all for you, and it makes it so easy. So it's really one of those things you just get to literally have fun with, and you get to play, and you don't have to think too much about anything. So I am going to go ahead and finish this off really quick, but I want y'all to know that I do also have these finished pieces available in the art bundle for y'all if you want to go ahead and print them. And I did actually print a bunch of these, and I put them in some frames and hung them in my bedroom. And in the end, I just thought it was so pretty. I really loved them. I love the softness of them. You just get such a soft look. Like, this is a soft look that I cannot accomplish with a paintbrush. I'm sure a real artist could, but I can't get this softness with a real paintbrush. So that was one of the things that I really loved about creating this digital art and just playing with it and having some fun. The end result to me was really cool. So I did go ahead and print some, and I will have those available for you to print as well. So we are just about finished with this piece. And like I said, I did make 4 of these, and I went ahead and framed them. And y'all, look how pretty they are. So I created all 4 of these pieces in that same digital pinup program. And I thought they turned out so pretty, so I couldn't resist printing them and framing a couple of them for my bedroom. I think they're really, really pretty. I love how these turned out.
I am feeling so relaxed right now and so happy right now. I had so much fun working on all of these art pieces together today. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this as well. I know it was a little different from our norm, but for me, it was fun, and it was a great way to celebrate 100 episodes on YouTube. I don't know, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I did, I loved it. I feel peaceful right now. I feel happy. It just brings a lot of joy into my heart when I sit down and create. I really think I had a good time with the digital art today. I love what we created. I love how all the pieces turned out. So y'all have to give me your thoughts. What was your favorite? Did you like just the fun color mixing and the splashing of paint? Did you like the watercolor, or did you like our digital art, or did you enjoy all 3? Let me know what your favorite was. While we're talking about that, don't forget, y'all can find the link to your entire free art bundle down in the description box. So I'm gonna have that available for y'all so you can download all of these fun. It's a big bundle. There is just a ton of stuff in this bundle that I put together for y'all to enjoy and create and just have fun, relax with it, enjoy it. And I think for the digital art, I think most of us have some sort of program on our phone or our tablet or our computers that you can do with digital art. I know there's a whole bunch of different programs out there, and I do think that all of our devices come with one. So whether you have pinup or whatever it is that you choose to use, I think you should give it a try, because I think you'll find it to be very relaxing and enjoyable.
I did want to just give y'all a little sneak peek of all of the pieces that are going to be available in the free art bundle. So y'all, please hop on over to that description box and download this and enjoy it and have fun with it. And just know that this is my way of showing y'all how much I appreciate all of your love and support. And I hope y'all enjoy having fun playing around with all of these pieces.
Alrighty, y'all. Well, I guess that is going to wrap up our art episode, our 100th video. Yay! This was so much fun for me. Again, I really hope that y'all enjoyed this and that you got some inspiration from it, or you got something out of it anyway. So thank you all so much for being here with me today. Thank you for hanging out in the studio and playing and whipping up some fun art pieces together. We all love art. And whether we create it ourselves or we buy it, art is just something we all have in our homes. We have some variety, some form, some sort of art in our homes. So maybe you were able to take something away from this, whether you recreate some of these yourself, or you just use some of the digital ones that we created that I have available for you in the art bundle. I hope you enjoyed it, and I want to thank you all again so much for being here with me today, for all your love, your support, and your encouragement, and for making it possible for me to have 100 episodes on YouTube. Thank you all so much for being here. Next week, we're going to jump into some fun projects. Well, actually, it's a big undertaking for me. We're going to work on a big project. You'll have to come back next week to see what it is. So y'all come back and see me again next week. Until then, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye, friends.
And shoulders back.
Chin up. So this is how it's gonna go. And I got nothing. Completely blank.
Well, today on Alecia at Home, you get me for your intro. Welcome to the channel. It's amazing.
Smile lovingly.